Men have the highest rate of suicide on the planet. So why aren't we talking about it? Hey, I'm your coach, Ben Curtis, aka Ben Believes, to talk about mental health in men's lives. So, why do you think we have such a strong response to everything? Why is there violence? Why is there toxicity on the planet? Why are people struggling? Why is mental health issues bigger than they've ever been, but no one's dealing with them? It's because as a society, especially Western society, we've lost our tribes, we've lost our elders, we've lost our community. Men have been programmed to carry the weight on the world of the world on their shoulders. And we don't have to anymore. In fact, there's so many women out there who have not been given an equal chance that would be happy to carry some of the weight for you. Men have been taught to be so strong, to be leaders, to push their emotions down, to not feel, because feeling or being sensitive or being vulnerable would be a sign of weakness. And we wouldn't want that. So instead, we've pumped them full of drugs and programming, and that we have to make all the money. And yet men are making some of the most money they've ever made in the world and killing themselves. I was just on a podcast with Dave Furness of Men's Mental Health Advocate. It was incredible. It's going to be live. You should check that out. But we're talking about, why this is, and why aren't men able to feel their feelings, and what is the problem? As someone who grew up in a lot of therapy, in a home full of therapy, and a very sensitive father, still was very confused because having feelings wasn't cool. And I spent my whole life using drugs and alcohol to shove them down because it wasn't appropriate. Women didn't appreciate it. I became known as the poet, or the liberal one, or the artist, or the creative, or the feminine one, or the gay one. But the truth is I was just me. But I got so good at acting and performing to try to fit what everyone thought I should be that I never actually got to experience my true self. And we're in a pandemic right now, and people are killing themselves faster than this pandemic can grow. That's right. Every day, even in the UK and US, with the highest rates, people are still killing themselves more frequently than they are contracting coronavirus, which is estimated to be back in the UK at 50,000 people a day. So what does that say? What does that say about our technology and how we're programming and not feeling our feelings, and going in technology instead of to not feel, instead of something like this where we could share ourselves live and talk about our actual feelings and listen to each other? Can you imagine the Black Lives Matter movement if police and the heads of those laws and the change makers sat down with people of color, people who have been oppressed, and just listen to each other? Men need the same thing. We need to be listened to. We need a safe space. And if you're a man, you relate to any of this, you're probably charismatic, smart, intelligent, whatever, but that there's still that pain inside. Some of you may remember me from the Dell computer commercials, right? Dude, you're getting a Dell. I was making six figures. I was in college, I had lots of money, I was flying around, I was partying, taking care of my friends, drinking for free, hot at all the clubs, outside, on the streets. But I was dying inside, as I had just watched the World Trade Center collapse, and I knew that there's more to life than just trying to get famous, and yet that's all people saw me as, was this walking commercial. But how do we have real conversations when you feel like the world's ending? You just saw it explode in your backyard, and there's terrorism every day, everywhere. We are privileged, myself as a white man in America, highly privileged. So I don't want to skip over that. But I'm also someone who has been through the pain and walked it myself. I grew up in the South, where even my dad in the 40s had black friends, where it wasn't allowed before the civil rights movement. And my best friend was black growing up, and I played in an all-black baseball league, and it's still, we're struggling with that race thing again today, because even black men don't have the help they need, because white men have just oppressed them, because we've been so scared. You put in power, you feel like you have everything to lose, but you've never actually faced your vulnerability and been daring to step down and say, hey, you know what? What would you do in this situation? How can we help each other? How can we work together? So we have a society built on this toxic masculinity of patriarchal oppression, and now is the time when we get to lean in and actually talk about feelings, dig into the feminine, find the balance. channel our anger, which lets us know that our boundaries are being crossed and we will take no more, but also channeling that into a useful way. If you're furious with your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your whoever, someone, your boss, like rather than just yelling right away, like using that anger and checking in with yourself before you open your mouth and say, what am I feeling? How can I make a difference for people? So I actually have a couple exercises I want to do here quickly with you before we go. So if you're someone who had to take on the trauma of your parents, they didn't give you the love you need, you had to take it on all yourself and push everyone away, and you only know how to survive alone, or if you the avoidant attachment, or if you had the opposite experience like me where you didn't get the love you needed, but maybe you attached stronger and you saw by attaching and being a lover and being sensitive and an entertainer that you needed more people and you needed more validation, so you became an anxious attachment, becoming needy and attracting those people who think you're too needy, and so they tell you to go away and they push more, so you attach stronger, and it just is a cycle. Right, so how do we calm this down? So we do some inner child work, and it's about showing up for your inner child and trusting that no feeling is good or bad, wrong, but honoring your feelings and giving your space and asking that little kid inside you, what do you need to feel safe right now? And if you don't feel safe, you can do 2 simple exercises. And this was taught to me by energy healers who are always working with other people. But in order to protect yourself and your soul and your spirit as through your healing, one thing, just to listen and stop wherever you are, even if you have to go in a bathroom stall, place a hand on your heart and your belly. Extend your exhales longer than your inhales. Twice as long. Inhale for 2. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 2. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue that. 2. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you continue this breathing, inhaling for 2, exhaling for 2, 3, 4. What you're doing is you're bringing your conscious awareness to your breath to ground you in this present moment, focusing on the one thing that you always do no matter what, which is breathe. Don't forget to breathe. Keep moving, focusing on the breath. And as you focus on the breath, that is the one thing that is present in this moment, the one thing you can be in control of right now, and to ground yourself and just notice how the heart's feeling. Just notice those feelings deep in your pit and don't push them down. And I even want you to start to tap your feet. Bang your feet on the ground with me. Tap your thighs. And then you're going to shake your hands. And I want you to start, actually get up, stand up, and shake up and down. Bounce up on your heels, and as you're shaking, what you're doing is you're getting into your body, your nervous system, and the subtle body, shaking all that stuff, taking all that pain, all that crap you've been holding your whole life, and wherever you are, I don't care where you are, if you're in front of your family, at work, I want you to dare to be weird, to let it go, to take all that anger and pain, scoop it up from the bottom and go, and release it. Do that with me again. Take it up. Release it. One more time with an HA inside. And let it go. Place a hand on your heart, a hand on your belly. Thank you for taking the courage to try that. If you did, or if you're just watching or thinking I'm crazy, you can, but do that in a safe space and practice releasing it. If you can't do that in a safe space, just hold it. Breathe. Say, I acknowledge this feelings. I acknowledge this pain. This anger is not me, but it is telling me something. What can I learn from this right now? What do I need? And that way you pause before hurting yourself or someone else. You meditate, you send loving kindness to the person that you are struggling with the most. I want you to imagine that person right now. And other people may come up along the way as you do this work and release your voice and get into your body, which I do deeply with each client every day. Practice over time, you start to unshake traumas that are stored in your body. And you can heal them. The only way to heal them is to feel them. The only way passes through. right? You can't build a foundation on top of mud, on top of crap. You have to actually take care of it. But it starts with the mud, with the muck, with the actual waste that cultivates, and over time that turns into fertile soil, and we plant seeds and we water them and we take care of them, and over time they grow, and we don't know how long that growth is going to take, so we just take it for today. Planting one seed of self-care. And whoever that person is for you, I want you to imagine a beautiful rose floating in between you and them. Or maybe a sunflower, something that radiates light and love for you. Violet flower, whatever that is for you. You fill in the blank. You see that love between you two. You can feel the pain on either side. And love them unconditionally, knowing that they are doing their best because they were dealt a bad hand in life, made up for it the best way they know how themselves, protect themselves, and if they are evil or anxious or stressed out or say something that is hurtful to you or to themselves, it's because, or they're a bully or they treat you badly, or it's because they are more afraid than you. Or as afraid as you are. And so we lash out on each other, so we imagine sending some love, having this flower between us and them. Protection, saying, I love you from a distance. And then slowly let that go. And then imagine someone that feels good, loving, that you can embrace here and now. If your mother or your father, or maybe they weren't loving people, so you imagine a friend in your life or someone you've just always loved. Embracing them. And then just keep wrapping your arms around yourself. Because all that love you've been looking and seeking for other people to fill, for other things to fill, people, places, things, food, sex, alcohol, drugs, porn, whatever it is. All that stuff is the love you just need to give yourself. Let it go. Thank you for joining me today. If you know someone who could benefit from this, please give it to them. These are some good exercises for healing. And to close, you just imagine zipping your energy body up all the way from the top to the bottom, around the back and down, before you go outside today, to keep this beautiful energy sealed in and other people protected. It was zipping from the bottom all the way up the top. And when you get home, just like Mr. Rogers, you can take it all off and unzip and release and be in your space and take a bath, tell someone you love them, call a friend, someone you've been avoiding for a while, and maybe that person's just yourself, so spend some time with yourself today. As Buddha said, you yourself deserve all the love and affection in the world. You are perfect, whole, and complete. And if you ever need support, I'm here for you. Ben believes in you. Thank you. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this, thank you so much for joining me. You can follow me here and share with someone who could use it. And most of all, thank yourself. Comment below, let me know what resonates. Don't forget to subscribe. And no one told you they love you today. I love you. Peace.